Hi guys, how's it going? This is JJ here at Budget by JJ. I'm a millennial cash stuffer based out of New York City, and I'm using a near zero based budget system to go ahead and get myself out of debt. That is the goal for this year, is to be debt free. So if that's something that you're interested in following along, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button. I would really love for you all to join me on this journey. And please go ahead and give this video a like. It really does help get this video out to others who would like to see it. As you see from the title of this video, we are actually going to go over my recent trip to Atlantic City and the breakdown of what that trip cost. Then after that, we're going to go ahead and get into the second cash stuffing for the month of April. So if you are just here for the cash stuffing, you can go ahead and refer to this timestamp here and then just skip to the cash stuffing. But if you'd like to go ahead and see what this whole trip cost me, what it cost during this circumstance, please go ahead and stick around and we'll go ahead and get right into it. So when they say I have receipts, I've got receipts. I have not scanned these yet into my Fetch app. I'll put my information up here, so if you haven't joined, go ahead and join. You get points, I get points, it's amazing. Essentially, of course, you snap your receipt and then it goes to a plethora of gift cards that are available. I view it as free money, it's an additional add-on, so I'm gonna have fun snapping all these in. But yeah, I did not mind asking for a receipt every time because I really did want to get an idea of what I was spending. I was using a credit card to actually take up these expenses, but not the majority of them. Like I stated in the past, I did get a bonus from work. With part of the bonus cash that I had gotten from my job, I did book the room, the South Tower Ocean View King. It came out to $960.12 with all the fees included. Took care of that way back in January. Next was figuring out how we were going to get there. So I opted by bus, opted for the quote unquote first class option, which is essentially the finer seats are at the very front of the bus. There's more leg room. There's panoramic views, meaning like you can see like virtually 180. Plus my partner is tall, so they needed the extra leg room to be comfortable. Again, this trip was a birthday gift from my partner, so I, wanted to kind of go all out as much as I could, given our limitations. Getting those premium seats there and back, it ended up being $265.82. Now you might be thinking that is outrageous for Greyhound, but Greyhound has upgraded their buses. That's not the Greyhounds that we think about in the movies back in the day. So we get to the Port Authority bus terminal, and this is a big bus terminal that is like a huge major hub of transportation in Midtown Manhattan. And we went to the Dunkin', and I'm laughing because the girl that worked there, she was a mess. One of my biggest pet peeves is like terrible customer service. People who are just like kind of not paying attention on their job. She gave us a latte that was just steamed milk and sugar and the flavored bump, but there was no freaking coffee in it. And I'm like, this is not how you serve a latte. But we didn't know that until we got onto the bus. It was just such a really crazy way to start the trip. And that ended up costing us $23.17. Let's go ahead and start that calculation. So we had the rooms at $960.12 plus the bus fare. Plus the Dunkin'. So right now we're already over $1,200. So after we got there, we checked in, which was a great smooth process. We actually got to check in an hour early, which I appreciate. We got settled and we immediately went to the food court because my partner again has limited food options with the way their mouth is healing from their surgery. We were able to find like this Italian option called pizzata, and we ended up getting 2 penny vodka with 2 meatballs and garlic bread with 2 canned margaritas, and that came out to a total of $66.14. So after some exploring and doing what we needed to do, we decided to call it a night. But my partner has a terrible sweet tooth, and I have a great sweet tooth too, so I don't say no to anything. So they wanted to go ahead and get some ice cream. There's a place called Alexia's Patisserie, and they had like this little ice cream section. So we got 2 large ice creams, just 3 scoops each, and that came out to $23.85, and that was just day one. The next day we ended up going to look at the outlets. Now I would just say, unfortunately, Atlantic City has not recovered economically since the pandemic outside of the boardwalk. I wouldn't say that Atlantic City is like a top tier destination, but for just a quick getaway to have some gambling fun and enjoy some like resort amenities, I think it's a good affordable option. I was actually doing really good because of cash stuffing and the budgeting. I was not tempted to buy a bunch of stuff on a discount. I almost walked away with a pair of shoes, but then I said, you know what, if I only saved $40 more, I would be able to get the shoes I actually wanted and not settle for something just because it's a good deal. That's what kind of really surprised me on this trip, is like the amount of discipline I flexed. Anything that I really purchased was for the benefit for the both of us. So I didn't really go all out. After that, we ended up going getting lunch, and we found this place on the boardwalk, this Mexican restaurant. I will just say that this is not a normal trip because my partner did have restrictions on what they can eat for food. They're really navigating what they could eat or could not eat. And they had burrito bowls, which were really good. And so I got 2 burrito bowls, 2 bottled waters, a jarrito, and a large horchata. The total of that ended up being $45.58. And then for dinner, we ended up just going back to that pizzata place, and my partner got the same thing, and then I changed it up and I got a chicken parm fettuccine with marinara sauce without the margaritas. And that ended up being $39.93. The only time we really got breakfast was Saturday. I was considering getting room service because they had a breakfast room service menu, and you know, for $100 for 2 people, I thought wasn't a bad deal. I mean, it's kind of like we're not doing this every day of our lives, so I was gonna go for it, but again, my partner was not sure. So I think it gets to a point where like when one party is just like paying and paying and paying, you kind of get a little nervous that they're kind of like overdoing it. So you try to kind of be like the voice of reason, like, we really don't need that, I'm not really that hungry, or whatever. You kind of play it off. So I'm like, okay, so I'm like, let's at least go get, you know, something in our system. And so they ended up getting a slice of fudge cheesecake, which was $14.07. And then I ended up getting a breakfast sandwich, which was the cheapest thing of the whole trip at $9.87. One thing that was consistent is that we ended up getting coffee at the resort, at the Starbucks that was in the resort. And that Starbucks obviously was overpriced compared to a normal Starbucks because of it being in the resort. So for 2 of those days, Starbucks came out to $23.14. I think one day we added a bottle of water and that came out to $26.34. The only thing we ended up buying for like a memento were these pins. This is the one that I chose, which is super cute. It is a limited edition pin for both pins. My partner got a different one. I can't find it right now. But yeah, I just love how this has a pin on pin element to it, and like stuff like this, like dang, now I have to go to all the other resorts to get the other ones. That's how it starts, you know. But that was from the Rock Shop, so we ended up paying $44.78 for those pins, which is kind of pricey, but they are limited edition and you can't get them anywhere else, so I'm okay with that. So in total, this trip cost $1,565.95. So that's not bad. This is, you know, a 3-day weekend, 2-night stay. It was during, you know, Easter weekend, so that's why one of the room prices was higher than the other. One thing I forgot to mention is that when we got back on Sunday, we ended up going to like a market that was being held at Bryant Park. We found a vendor. She was selling like these like different types of cheesecakes, and like it was like really good different flavors. And so I ended up getting something like that in lieu of like a birthday cake. I ended up door dashing food for us later that day too. So in total on the card, I spent $415.01. I had paid down the card up to $1,000. So I definitely was under budget. Again, my goal was not to max out the card, but to have plenty to go ahead and have some kind of peace of mind. Definitely way under budget, definitely manageable, and I'm looking forward to paying this off as soon as I can. Comment down below, what do you think? Did I overdo it? Would this be something that you would consider? Have you spent more on a vacation or a weekend getaway? Let me know. Thank you so much for letting me share that with you. So now we can finally get into this cash stuffing. It was so funny because when I took this cash out, the teller, she was like really impressed with my little teller note here. She actually wanted to keep this, and I said, no, sorry. I want it for my records. See, the total says $16.81. I actually took $200 of this and used it for the gambling money. Actually gonna have $1,481 to cash stuff. Okay, let's go ahead and count this out. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 100s. For 1100. Next we have the 50s. We have 50, 100, 50, 200. Next we have the 20s. We have 20, 40, 60, 80, 100, 120. We have the 10s. We just have 1, 2, and 30 in 10s. Next we have the 5s. We have 5, 10, 15, 20 in 5s. We have those. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 in 1s. And voila, we have $1,481. That is correct. Okay, so here's the budget here. I'll put something so you can see it better. But we're going to start off with the rent, and the rent is going to be $457. So we're going to take 100, 200, 300, 400. We're going to take a 50, a 5, and 2 1s. Now with the money from the last cash stuffing, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 800, 850, 900, 910, 915, 16, 17, $917. Next we have utilities. So we have the electric here, and it comes out to $29. So take 120, 15, 6, 7, 8, 9. Then we have the internet, and that's going to be $50. So we're just going to take $150, and then we're going to pay into our cloaked. So we're going to take $110 for the $10 for the cloaked. That comes out at the end of the month. So in total for electric, we have 20, 40, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50, 51, 52. $53 for my half of electricity. We have $100 now for the internet, and then we have, of course, that $10 for cloaked. I have already paid this month for the gas, so that was really good. Next cash stuffing, we will cash stuff for the gas. Okay, now we have personal. So the personal I'm going to take out is $240. So I have 100, 200, 120. And 40. Okay, so we do have some minimums that I need to take care of, and we have the Chase, and this is just a normal minimum payment of $40. So 1, 2, and like I mentioned last time, I'll go ahead and update the tracker off camera. And then we have the Fortiva, so that's going to be $68 for the minimum payment, which is due on the 27th. So we're going to take a 50. We're going to take a 10 for 60, then we're going to take a 5, and then we're going to do 1, 2, 3. Get all these ugly bills back into the bank. This Fortiva though, it's like has crazy high amount of interest, so I want to pay this off as soon as I can. But we're not done there with the Fortiva. I'm going to add an additional $87 to pay on it because, like I said, I want to pay this down as fast as I can. So we are still paying down debt. That is the goal. Even though I'm having fun traveling, doing this or that, I have this goal front and center in my brain. It is constantly on my mind, constantly running numbers how I'm going to be debt free this year. So part of that is throwing money at these cards. So we have the last 50, then I have this gross 20, then I have the last 10 in the bunch, and the last 5, and the last 2s. So this is going into the account. I'm excited. This is what we want. The next card that I am paying off is going to be the Capital One Saver card. Now, I am excited to say that today, this card will be finally completely paid off. We are adding $300 to cover this card. 1, 2, and 3. I'm excited. That's one other debt down, y'all. Woo! This is what I mean. Like, even though I'm out doing stuff, I am now able to still have a plan of action to take care of this debt. So this is one more debt that is completed. Done. We're good. Don't need to use this. Not right now. We're good. Then finally for this binder, y'all, you can see here I had to dip into the savings. Obviously you did not factor some other things in, but whatever. So this is just the emergency savings. So we are back again in the 4th month of the year trying to get this up. So we're just gonna add 100 to this emergency savings fund, and that's what it is, just an emergency savings fund. So essentially this has been acting as a buffer. I don't have much of an excuse or an explanation, so it really is just like, you know, that's life. So the point is that we're still trying to get this back up. So here we go again, $100 starting us out for the emergency savings fund, and that's okay. And real quick, this is the card of the hour we were talking about. So this card is paid off this pay period. I am so excited. 1 down, 6 more to go. Woo! Not a lot going on here. I did write down $200 for entertainment. That was already taken for like spending money that I used to go gambling with. So that's $200 that came and went. And that's what happens when you gamble. You have to be okay with coming up bupkis. For those of you that know, my partner ended up getting oral surgery, and I decided that I wanted to help them pay it off because it's a substantial amount for the cost of that. It's really crazy. So we have $100 here ready to go. So this is now $200 that I have saved up as an additional payment. The goal is to at least get maybe 2 payments worth saved. So, and then I can apply it to the balance. But that is it, y'all. Thank you so much again for your time to come and join me and see what all the fuss was about. I truly appreciate it, especially if you're a returning subscriber. Thank you so much for coming back. And if you are new here, please go ahead and like, comment, subscribe, and share this video out with somebody you think that might like it. It really does help out the channel. Hope y'all had a wonderful Easter, however you celebrate, and that you enjoy the rest of your month. I will see you back for the first cash stuffing in May. So until then, please take care, and I'll see y'all soon. Bye.